Welcome to the Bull and Bear Show, episode number 26. I'm here with Nash Cowboy, King Earl, and Blaze. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, bro. Thank you.
Doing well.
Great to have you guys on the show. And the big news right now that's breaking that we're going to talk about is the new presidential candidate in Argentina. The pro-Bitcoin new presidential candidate has just been elected in Argentina, Javier Milei. And this is huge news for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is rallying on this news. We can take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now, sitting at 37,288, and Ethereum also breaking 2,000, now at 2,004. So my question is, I'm going to start with you, Earl. What do you think about this big breaking news, Earl?
I love this guy. I've been waiting. They've had too many re-elections, and I've been waiting for this guy to get actually put in. I first learned of this guy on Twitter Spaces with a Tucker Carlson interview. I completely love the guy. I love his brain thoughts. He's an economic guy. I believe that he might actually help bring communism to a stop in Argentina and help the markets rally over there whenever they get done. I completely have faith in this guy, and I hope that he does a good job. And I have faith. And as far as Bitcoin rallying, Bitcoin's going to have a rally because he's pro Bitcoin. I've been seeing it all over South America, not just Argentina, in the news today. And like I said, I've been waiting since last month for the re-election because down there you have to win by like a quarter of the votes to actually gain it. And then, I love this guy because of the way that he talks and what he talks about and the amount of passion that he has for what he believes in.
Well, great to hear your feedback. And I know that the fans that are watching all over the world love hearing from King Earl. And I want to hear about Nash Cowboy. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about Argentina's new president being pro-Bitcoin? Is this going to be a huge boost for Bitcoin? Clearly it is right now because Bitcoin's up. Nash Cowboy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, so we're talking about the president liking Bitcoin, correct? I think that it's great for the country. It could potentially who knows? Some other countries have tried like the whole solid crypto thing and not done very well at start, but then it seems to be progressing. The more countries that start being pro Bitcoin, I think we're going to evolve into all kinds of things. Not just Bitcoin though, some other coins as well. I think it could be a great thing.
All right, Nash Cowboy, I'd love to hear your feedback. And Blaze, what do you think? The Argentinian president just elected is pro Bitcoin. Is this a boom for Bitcoin?
Anything like that's a boom for Bitcoin. Just like DeSantis in Florida, it's a boom for Bitcoin, right? He's running for president. Boom, boom. So any good news is like, crypto runs off of good news, right? So this guy's a firecracker. This guy means business, and this guy's over here ready to try and make this economy for them a lot better over there. So which way to go? Bitcoin. So yeah, I think him taking over will help Bitcoin spike at least 10-15% extra than what we already thought. So it's good news to go with all good news, right?
I love it. I love it. I agree with you 100%. Now let's talk about the next big news here. And the next big news, and this is huge news for Ethereum, and I'm an Ethereum holder. And full disclosure, I want to let everyone know that Rich TV Live is strictly for information and education purposes. We are not licensed advisors. Please do your own due diligence and do your own research before you invest in anything we talk about or discuss here on the show. All of us are investors like you guys at home. We're not trying to tell you what to buy. I do own Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everyone on here owns crypto, okay? We're not telling you to buy crypto, but we're letting you know that Bitcoin this year and Ethereum and a lot of cryptos have been on fire. And we've been talking about it, and we've been right about what's going to happen in the market. And the market is going exactly as planned. And everything is falling into place. And Ethereum right now, the big news for Ethereum is that BlackRock just filed for a spot Ethereum ETF after registering entities in Delaware. Huge news, in my opinion, for Ethereum. I'd love to know what you think about this news. Earl.
It's great news. LimeWire is now up 44% for the day. But, it's great news. I mean, I told you guys 2 weeks ago that this was going to happen. Of course, it is happening. It's just a smart thing for them to do. They're going to make much more money by staking their Ethereum and selling it out for custody while maintaining custody, rather than the staking percentages they're going to get off of Bitcoin. I mean, it was the smartest move to make, and I'm glad they listened to me on richtv.com, it's just great news. It's going to be great for the market. It's going to be great for the rally. And I do, in a non-financial advisor kind of way, view that, we will potentially see Ethereum break that $10,000 per token mark this bull market, not only due to the ETFs, but the Shanghai merger and the burning ratio set to the GUI for the transactions and the amount of transactions going through. So I view it's going to be a great step in the right direction. It's going to be great for them. It's going to be great for the whole entire crypto market.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's huge. And we saw what happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin did its huge run after BlackRock announced that they were going to do a Bitcoin ETF. And then 12, I think there's 10 or 12 companies now that have registered for Bitcoin ETFs. So now Ethereum is being started with BlackRock as well. So you have to assume there's going to be at least 5 or 10 Ethereum ETFs that are going to start ripping off. So Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this news? Are you a buyer of Ethereum after this news?
I think for Ethereum, it's great, but not just Ethereum. I've always been a buyer of Ethereum. I don't hold a lot of it right now because I've put it into NFTs and then traded back to Ethereum, and then now I'm back into some NFTs. But it's basically the same thing, and it's holding Ethereum in my opinion because I can always just trade it right back. I think it's great. I'm actually kind of hoping this even goes a step farther, and there's some other spot ETFs filed on some other coins, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm with Earl. I think Ethereum could possibly break a 10,000 mark there.
Oh baby, from your lips to God's ears, I'd love to see that 10,000.
But I can't wait to see where it goes. We're in an unprecedented territory in crypto, and we really don't know. We got so much going on that could send a lot of coins straight to the moon. So let's grab the bull by the horns. That's all I got to say.
Blaze, what do you think about this news? Ethereum now looking to get actually a spot ETF through BlackRock. Do you think this is big news for Ethereum and for cryptos?
So Ethereum's trying to get one through BlackRock rather than BlackRock trying to make them an ETF.
Well, I mean, BlackRock's making an ETF.
Okay.
It's not through Ethereum.
Okay.
They're doing a similar thing like they're doing with Bitcoin. They just want to now do one Ethereum. So essentially you're going to be able to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum in the stock market through BlackRock.
What
do you think about that?
It's going to create some major green lines. It's definitely going to reflect on Ethereum. Then Ethereum's going to reflect on all the other tokens off of Ethereum. So if you have anything Ethereum based, hold on to it. Does it reflect the price of Ethereum if it's sold on the stock market? Absolutely, because when BlackRock goes in, they go big. You can't put it on the stock market unless you buy a good percentage of the whole entire entity, right? So at that price, BlackRock can chop up quite a bit of that Ethereum off the market. And I think, I'm not an advisor, but for my own good and all the people out there that study, I think that will, give a 5x to Ethereum.
I think that's very possible. And you can see we just showed the charts. Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing extremely well on this news.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that this is the reason. I believe this is the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, Bitcoin that just got a presidential candidate in an entire country that's pro-Bitcoin. That could be huge for Bitcoin depending on what they do with that. And now we've got Blackrock, who started the momentum with Bitcoin this year with Bitcoin ETFs, now saying that they want to get a Ethereum ETF, which means investors will be able to buy Ethereum through the stock market, which means you're not going to have to worry about holding coins on an exchange and your exchange going bankrupt. You're not going to have to worry about your money disappearing through hacking. You're not going to have to worry about remembering your password for your crypto account. You can now buy Bitcoin and Ethereum through the stock market. I mean, this is how most people do it. So this is going to give that average investor that doesn't like crypto, doesn't understand crypto, doesn't want crypto, it's going to give them a chance to still get exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think that's going to take the prices higher. I can't see how it wouldn't. And that leads me to my next question. Let's get into the next topic here. All right. So Fidelity wants to create an Ether ETF. So it's not just BlackRock. Now Fidelity wants an Ethereum ETF, joining BlackRock and doubling down on crypto. So do you guys see the trend here? It's kind of like a trend, right? It's like, oh, one does it, now they all want to do it. It happened with Bitcoin, and now it's happening with Ethereum. Interesting. What do you think about this, King Earl?
I view that, they're going to continue to do this. Don't be surprised when it's going to be more of them continuing to come into the Ethereum spotlight. I mean, Chase, JP Morgan, we already know they want it. Right? We already know they want in, and they're already cashing in for it. And the whole thing is like I said, they want to make money. It's going to be the best move to make money. And they say, hey, well, BlackRock's going to do it. Why are they doing it? We want a piece of the action too. It's a great time to get in before they buy. That's all I know. It's a great time to get in and hold the line.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great time to get in at the beginning of the year. I don't know what now, but I mean, yeah, I still believe we're going much higher. But
I can only preach the bottom so much,
No, I know. When we were telling everyone to get in when it was under 20,000, that's when we were screaming for everyone to get in. Now, when people ask me, is it too late to get in? I'm like, man, well, it's not too late. I think we're going higher, but it's a much tougher buy for me right now at these levels than it was, 6 months ago. That's for sure. Bitcoin was at 16,000. Now it's at 37,000. Ethereum was at like 900. Now it's at 2,000. So we've seen a lot of coins make big moves, which is fantastic. But is it really a good time to buy right now? That's tough. I mean, that's difficult. So Nash, what do you think about this news? Fidelity now wanting to create an Ethereum ETF. So it looks like there's going to be a whole run on Ethereum now. Are you looking to buy Ethereum because of this news?
I probably will. I'll stock up a little bit. I'm not a huge Ethereum holder, although I definitely believe in the whole project there. But my main focus on Ethereum is just trading NFTs. But I think, like Earl said, you're going to see more and more of this. There's a lot going on. I mean, it is not too late to get in on Ethereum or Bitcoin or my personal fave, Urine Finance. Because we're still technically in an accumulation year for another month and a half. It's not too late, but like I said in our last show, I expect a little dip here and there until the Bitcoin halving. So as long as you're okay with riding through, if there's a dip right after you buy, don't get scared. The full-fledged bull market has not started yet. We are on a bull run here, but wait and see what happens when the bull market really starts after the Bitcoin halving cycle. I mean, again, we're in unprecedented territory, and we could see crazy heights. We don't know where it's going. We don't have a crystal ball, but it's definitely, in my opinion, going way up from here.
I agree with you 100%. Blaze, what do you think about this? Everyone wants to get an Ethereum ETF now. Sounds familiar, right?
Oh yeah, it does. I think Earl mentioned a little bit earlier in his comments about JP Morgan, Chase Bank and stuff like that. I've been getting letters and notifications about what we think. And, I think if Bank of America, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Fidelity gets involved, look at Ethereum has the ability to hit 20, 30 grand eventually. It's a long-term token.
20, 30 grand would be
Yeah,
sweet,
it's a long-term token. It does have possibility within the market cap. With the amount of tokens will have to be picked up by those big agencies. That token can skyrocket. Like, I love it. I love hearing about all this. Ethereum is a major play in a lot of my minis,
Oh, I agree. I think it has huge, huge, huge potential. And obviously,
Good
I'm
news
an
is
Ethereum
always the
holder,
best, right?
of course. And I've been an Ethereum holder for a long time, and I really love it. And I've seen this go from $100 to 2,000 and do it 20x. I've seen Bitcoin go from 1,000 to 37,000,
At one point,
and I've seen it go as high as 69,000. I've seen Ethereum go as high as 4,800. So, for me, I think crypto is one of those things you can really dream about prices, and sometimes those dreams turn into realities. So it's just nice to be able to be in it, to win it, and know that things are only going to get better. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and for you guys to be a part of it, and hopefully for those of you guys that are watching at home, you're part of it too. So important Ripple announcement for XRPL projects. Ripple developer arm is awarding $1.3 million to support innovative projects from AI, DeFi, and more. So Earl, you brought me this news. What do you think about this news?
I think it's a great turn, that they're actually using some of the funding to do other things of non-self-interest. But, at the same time, just to build the blockchain itself. I mean, you have 1.3 million. This is the sixth wave of loans or donations, charitable ways they've given out. It's a tax break for them as far as the project. But not only that, you're looking at the fact that, they're going to be building the project and the ledger technology. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, introducing more stuff into your ecosystem to build the ecosystem while you're being still fighting in a court case. You're still just giving out money. It's awesome. And it's, what crypto was meant to be. And it helps develop the technological side of crypto technology and future technologies of the world. And I'm all about that. It's awesome news. And I'm glad to hear it, and I hope they continue to keep on striding forward, even though, the token itself is still lacking sideways trading, moving, and false promises and court cases. But, we'll get past it in the end and see where all the chips lie. It has the rallies. When it pumps, and we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate your feedback, Earl. And Nash, what do you think about this money being used now for AI and Ripple projects, $1.3 million? Does this make you a buyer for Ripple?
Well, I've always been a buyer for Ripple. I don't own a lot of it, but I'm all for the project. I think AI is the next generation of just about everything. So it's really smart on their half to get into it. I think there's a lot of pros and cons to the whole AI world, but I think Ripple already had a lot of potential. So, I mean, a lot of people don't know it. They've been around for quite some time now. It's not like it's a new thing, but bringing AI into it, the possibilities are endless. We haven't seen what all AI is even capable of, and it just keeps progressing at such a fast rate. Technology is an amazing thing in our world, as long as we keep tabs on it and just don't let it get too far. But yeah, I think it's a great thing, and I think Ripple's going to do great things. So I'm just not. I'm not in gung ho. I mean, that's not my number one coin for one thing, and but I do think it has a lot of potential to do a lot of things.
All right, Nash Cowboy. Now, Earl, I love what you said. Earl and Nash Cowboy, I love what you guys said about Ripple and the potential. Blaze, what do you think about the potential now here with Ripple and announcing more projects and AI, $1.3 million invested? What do you think this means for Ripple? And does this make you a buyer of Ripple?
No, it don't make me a buyer of Ripple. AI will never influence me to buy any crypto. I don't think AI is tuned up big enough yet. I've tried major AI programs, and I actually told them they were wrong. They recorrect themselves with the wrong answer again. So there's a lot of projects going out there with AI, and I think 1 million dollars into a project like that is like peanuts, actually, to be honest with you. It's probably just going to buy a couple little microchips to go with the program. They're far away from it. I think Ripple blasts through the ceiling with or without AI right now. AI is just like the 8-track of the CDs right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I
hear you.
I do love the news Earl brings to the table, because when I was snooping a couple things, that's what actually made me make that decision when I decided, will it actually influence me to buy any crypto? You know what influences me to buy crypto is those graphs. When they show something and you feel it, you go for it. That's what I feel, you know?
Yeah, you got to trust your gut.
Yeah, your gut.
All
Because
right,
once you let artificial intelligence take over your gut, you're doomed.
Oh, for sure. I mean, as a trader, you have to trust yourself.
Yeah,
You
you
have
have to be the key player to any trade. AI introduced to any program creates more capital per program and more money out of your pocket. When you can do it yourself, and we've been doing it for years, there's no cheat to crypto. The AI, you can't cheat with it. It's not going to teach you much. You know what I mean? I'd rather listen to you guys and learn more about crypto. I'm going to get way more information out of the person that's buying it, like humans, not robots. You know what I mean? To all the bot users
100%.
out there, God bless you. Eventually those things will be blocked out too, you know? So that's how it goes in my book. I like the human idea.
Yeah, speaking on that, our next topic here is Binance. So Binance takes security measures to delist 15 trading pairs. This is another piece of news that Earl shared with me. Earl, what do you think about this news?
That's a good one.
It's awesome news. I mean, what they were doing is they were delisting projects that were associated with Russia. So they're getting more in line with what the world is requiring as far as money flow, and moving away with the sanctions that's actually on them. They're moving away from the Russian markets. Of course, it was the tokens that they delisted were negatively affected due to the change. But I mean, I view that the tokens that were delisted that were just Russian pairs have the potential to go way more higher as it seeks a new market. You know, now that it isn't actually controlled by Russia, lighting issue. Now that it actually isn't controlled by Russia, and is not going to have as much influence or market manipulation going on due to incidences or, you know, communism. So, you know, it's a great step away from making free money free, and giving the power back to the people, and allowing people to feel safer when they're investing into something, rather than it having an outside input into it. So I view it's a great thing on Binance. It's the only thing I can remember that Binance has done good in the past 3 years. So besides hiring an SEC guy, but you know, more power to them. But I mean, this is one for them. You know, maybe other people take part of the recognition and congratulate them, pat them on the back for doing the right thing, and maybe there'll be a stepping stone for the rest of the exchanges to do the same thing.
Okay. Nash, what do you think about this? Binance delisting, taking 15 different trading pairs off of their system. What do you think about this? You think this is the right move?
I think it's right for them. However, Who knows? Obviously, they did it for a reason, and they are the biggest exchange out there. So they're not stupid. They didn't get to be the biggest exchange being stupid. But with that being said, sometimes they make stupid decisions. Um, but I don't know. I think it'll be good for them. I'm not a Binance fan myself, but uh, I think it'll be good for them to, just like Earl said. Uh, I wasn't aware that they only delisted coins that were associated with Russia or whatever. Um, However, it is going to hurt some people's investments. I don't like that. Uh, so they'll be probably selling off. I think it was Solana one of them, I believe. Uh, so there's a lot of people that are hardcore on Solana, and it could very well hurt them in the long run. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Maybe they'll just choose a different exchange, or just see where it goes. You know.
Blaze, what do you think about this? 15 trading pairs delisted from Binance.
Not one thumbs up, not two, but three. Here's the reason why. Because the control, okay, so it's a Russian-based idea, right? And pairs can be very dangerous, where you can control pairs. So, I mean, this is not going to hurt the investors. So we have Binance USA, then we have Binance World, right? So that doesn't have nothing to do with us on Binance World, but it has something to do with reflections on our investments through Binance. So I think it's going to create more confidence for people knowing, and nothing against the people of Russia, but the government over there. The reason why crypto's fluctuating quite a bit is because they're playing with crypto. Okay, so the less power they have with it, the less people are going to get burnt, and that's what I believe. I think things are going to get better. Nobody's investment is going to be hurt. I think they're going to make more money out of it.
Great, I love it. I love your guys' opinions, and that's why we do this show. So this is the next topic here, and we're going to change tunes a little bit away from crypto. Obviously, crypto is doing very well. We've spent half the show so far talking about it, but I want to talk about what's going on the global scale. So Biden hails productive talks with Xi Jinping, the president of China, as agreements reached on fentanyl and military charges. So I want to know what you guys think about this. We had Xi Jinping, the president of China, in San Francisco this week to sit down with Biden. He came to America, and they're obviously talking about a lot of different things. One of the things they're talking about is the fact that there is fentanyl products being made in China, products that are going into fentanyl that are being made in China. They want to talk about reducing some of those products. And they also talked about military communication. They talked about, there was some weird conversations because after their meeting, Biden actually called Xi a dictator. I thought that was odd. I'm like, you guys just shook hands and you're sitting down and apparently having good positive talks, but Biden goes and calls Xi a dictator. So what did you guys think about these meetings? King Earl, I'd love to hear your opinion. Shakes his head and then calls him a dictator.
This fucking guy right here on the screen. Okay. He got nothing and did nothing while talking to the most important guy in all of Asia for the most part, that's been running attack strategies against Taiwan, wanting to take over, has communistic power, talking about BRICS, and the guy walks out calling Xi Jinping a dictator. I'm more interested in what Xi Jinping and Elon Musk talked about than what Xi Jinping and this freaking goofball who sits in the White House said. Because this goofball here did nothing for freaking communications as far as actual Pelosi flying over, the damage done from that, did nothing for repairing anything going on with Taiwan, did nothing as far as communications with securities in the UN and NATO or anything that's left up for them violating airspaces or them sending freaking balloons into American airspace. You got this cockamamie guy here more worried about the American people being poisoned while they're being bombed. I mean, get for real. You know, Elon Musk came directly out of the meeting and immediately said freedom and free speech. It's amazing. So I don't even, that could mean one of two things. Either Xi Jinping tried to buy him off or told him to shut down on some propaganda, or could they buy into it for propaganda? And he probably turned him down. Good on Elon. But this freaking goofball right here, it's a shame at the freaking experience that he had and the moment and opportunity that he passed up on for some freaking drugs on the streets when he can't even control what the frick's coming across the southern border, and military communication. They don't give a freaking hootenanny.
All right. King Earl's not holding back. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about Mr. President of the biggest, most powerful country in the world, Joe Biden, meeting the biggest other president on the other side of the world, Xi Jinping, the president of China, was in San Francisco, and Joe Biden wanted to talk about fentanyl and called him a dictator? What do you think about this?
Whew. Well, this, I'm 100% with Earl on that. I mean, this guy's a joke. I wouldn't even call him a president. It makes me sad that he's sitting in the office in our country. Like, the whole world's laughing at us. The guy it doesn't even make sense that he would even bring this up. Like, yeah, we have a huge fentanyl problem. Yeah, the stuff is made in China. All right. But where's it coming through? It's coming right through the Mexican border. All right. That he has wide open. As a matter of fact, assisting them over here. Like, it's nuts. The whole thing it's all smoke and mirrors. Again, it just makes me sick, the whole thing. The guy needs to grow a set of cojones downstairs and actually do something productive for our country rather than tear it apart. If you ask me, the only reason he met with him was to collect another check to funnel through his shell corporations. It's already been proven, and bring our country down even farther. That's my personal opinion. FJB.
Wow. Okay. Nash Cowboy not holding back. And Blaze, what do you think, Mr. President? Did he have a successful meeting with Xi Jinping, the president of China? The two biggest world powers met this week.
Well, fentanyl is a touchy situation, and military communication as well. I don't think it was the biggest one between both countries, but I think it was just a cop-out plea that they were talking about, because I don't think Biden's even interested in even pleading with these people, even doing anything with them. So I just think it was a played out thing. It wasn't his call. It was all his advisors. And at this point, I got to stick up for Joe Biden on this one because he's a puppet. So not JB, it's F his advisors, because he is being led by his strings. If you can't see his arms go up with a little fishing line over there when he's doing his thing on the podium, I mean, come on, man. He's not doing it. It's the people around him that are controlling him. So technically, United States government, get your ass in gear and you get your shit together, because this is getting bad. It just really sucks for us. That's my opinion.
Okay, very good, very good. Everybody being very, very opinionated on Joe Biden, and nobody really on this panel really likes him. That's what we can tell for sure.
Puppet,
and the question now is, how much does America like him, and how much does America like Donald Trump? So let's talk about Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, and the judge has temporarily lifted the gag order in Trump's civil fraud trial. So Trump's obviously going through, it seems like he's going through trials every day. It's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen a witch hunt for a president like this ever, anywhere. I don't even know how it's legal, but this is what's happening in America right now. The president seems like he's on a really bad trajectory, because he's constantly in court, and that's taking away his ability to focus on his presidency. So what do you guys think about the fact that the judge temporarily lifts the gag order in Trump's civil fraud trial, which essentially means he can talk, and they're actually giving freedom of speech back? Weird. Freedom of speech in a democracy. What do you think about this, Earl?
I think the judge finally pulled his head from his rear derriere and figured out that he was breaking the man's rights. I mean, how can you tell someone not to speak? I mean, he has the right not to speak, but how do you shut someone up? Really? Slapping fines on someone because they're choosing to talk? But, you know, it might be for manipulative purposes. He might be trying to get him to hang himself with his own words again and continue to fine him because he knows he ain't going to win the case. So he might as well get as much money as he can, right, with whatever he says. But, you know, it's just a freaking dog and pony show, and I'm tired of it. Just let the man go. Let the man make America great again. And, you know, quit with the freaking posturing, you know, and trying to divide the country on it. You know, it's embarrassing at this point. That's what it is. I mean, you know, the next topic as well, you know, it's just retaliation for what went on while he was in office, and it wasn't even what he did, but what the people in his party did. But, you know, it's just freaking embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, it definitely is very embarrassing. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? The judge removing the gag order in the Trump trial?
Well, I'm with Earl again on that one. I do believe that maybe the judges hearing the whole freaking world, because it's everywhere, talking about they're trying to silence his freedom of speech, you know, this and that. I think any kind of gag order in a case like this should be illegal. And to my opinion, it is illegal because it is a violation of speech, freedom of speech. No, I don't. They need to just give up. They know they don't have anything on them. They're trying to do all kinds of things that just don't.
Trying to bankrupt him.
Yeah, they're trying to bring him to his knees and get him to just tap out. And Donald Trump is not that kind of person. He's not going to tap out. Even if they did take all his money, he still wouldn't tap out. It's just, it's despicable what they're doing to try and keep him going on in this presidential race, because he is leading in every freaking poll out there. They know that if it's a fair election and there's no tampering with the whole Dominion system there, they know they don't have a shot. They don't. It's not even possible. And I think they're doing whatever they can just to shut him up. I think it's election fraud. I think that's the big one. I think they should be tried for tampering with the 2024 election.
All right, those are big statements. Blaze, what do you think about this? Judge temporarily lifts gag order in the Trump trial, giving him the ability to essentially have freedom of speech.
So the judge went home, put his ego in the bag, and realized your First Amendment, your very First Amendment, freedom of speech. How are you a judge if you don't know what the First Amendment is? I don't get it. You know, he knows his job's on the ropes. You know, he might be able to hang on. Maybe Trump gets in and says, hey, I appreciate you letting me talk again, but you're still fired. So at the end of the day, look at Trump's election. You said it's hard for him to focus on election. He's in court every day. What are you talking about? He's in court every day. That is benefiting Trump. He's getting more votes in the end because more people are supporting him now because of what they're doing to him. So what they're doing to him, they thought was going to hurt him, put him in jail, take all his money, which you can't because he's got money in every country that the U.S. can't confiscate from. So, you know, at the end of the day, Trump's in a solid position in his life right now, and this is benefiting him. Keep on putting him in court, keep on putting him on the news, and keep on putting him in everybody's head, because when it comes time to vote, the only name everybody knows is Trump. Salute. End of story.
That's an interesting take, and I like some of your points. You definitely brought up some good points there. Now, I want to talk about this. There's the next topic. This to me is even more crazy. So now They just want to keep him in court forever, clearly. So the Georgia prosecutor proposes starting Trump's criminal trial in August 2024, which means he will be on trial while he's running for president in November. What do you guys think about this? Like, pretty odd timing, would you think? That they're trying to time it exactly when he's going to be running? Like you just said, Blaze, this is helping him in the polls. So why are they putting him on trial while he's running? Like, it doesn't get any more crazier than this. Like, this guy is literally must-see TV. What do you think about this, Earl?
And they're trying to do the same thing that he did to Hillary Clinton, or that they did to Hillary Clinton during her trial, whenever she was running up for her presidential candidacy. Instead of, them pushing it forward or speeding it up, they're trying to pull it back and keep it right before the election. And it's apparent what they're doing. And then, like I said, it's a dog and pony show. And, it's just retaliatory acts for what happened while, he was in presidency. And it's freaking deplorable of them.
All right. And Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this news?
I think you're right. I think it's perfect timing to try and destroy him even more. I mean, right before the election. Come on.
It's crazy.
How about right now? Georgia has one of the crookedest state governments that there is. It's already been proven in a smaller election that, again, the Dominion machines were way off. There was a senator or governor or something there that brought to their attention that she demanded a recount because there was no votes in her county, which her and her husband voted for herself. So there was obvious fraud. So she demanded a recount, and I believe she won. But they will do whatever it takes. We're August, right before the election. Come on. You can't get any more obvious than that. They should also be tried for trying to tamper with the election. As far as I'm concerned, Trump would be a better president behind bars than anything we have right now. Anything in the current administration. So, Trump 2024.
All right, Blaze, what do you think about this? Don't you think, and I agree with everything that Nash and Earl said, I think it's just crazy that they're trying to bury him in legal fees and legal focus, which is never good if anyone's been in court. It's stressful, it's expensive, it's there's nothing good that comes out of it. And at the same time, he's trying to run for president. So obviously that is a huge ordeal, trying to run America, trying to win an election to run the most powerful country in the world that's being run essentially poorly by Joe Biden. And people have had enough, but yet he's being thrown into court constantly. And the timing is terrible. So Blaze, what do you think about this?
I mean, I'm going to go back to the other question. It was similar. Like, this is a benefit for Trump. It is in no means ever going to happen. It's not going to hurt his wallet. It's just going to put his face on the news more. And it's going to remind everybody, especially people that don't like snitches and people that don't like government and people that don't like police. And there's about 80% of America right there. So Trump, 80-20 in the end. Boom. End of story.
Wow. Even with the cheating in the polls.
Well, that's the whole thing. You know what I mean? If you go up to people in New York City and you ask 10 people, Trump or Biden, I'm almost willing to bet every set of 10, 9 Trump, 1 Biden, if you're lucky, because they feel bad for him. Come down to Florida, ask the same question. It will be all Trump. Go to the West Coast, it's still going to be the same way. That's how it goes.
All right, so we all agree on that. Let's talk about this war in the Ukraine, which nobody's even talking about anymore. Everyone's forgot about it, despite the fact that the United States has sent over $100 billion there. Putin's brutal war on Ukraine vanishes from the news coverage amid raging conflict in Gaza. that means Zelensky isn't going to get any more money if there's no more news coverage. What do you think about this, Earl? What's going on? Is there even a war in the Ukraine anymore?
Well, we already know there is. There's been certain strategical movements going on between Russia, Germany, and other parts of the globe over there around the Baltic area that, has been realized and movements have been done. So there's still strategical movements going on. There's still war going on just because it's not being talked about. I mean, let's look at the, Hawaii fires. Those still happen, and they're still recovering from that. But where's all the news coverage? Just because it's there doesn't mean it's not getting funded. It's just not in the limelight. Uh, if you were still going to continue to fund it, and if it's not in the limelight, maybe America won't care how much we're actually sending them, without them telling us, because they'll just wrap it into a supply package for war, you know, for Israel, and it's just going to be behind the scenes, another way for Biden to collect another paycheck, and we'll see about Zelensky in the end, but it's you know, it's just Zelensky being a little crybaby. What happened to the first day when he was supposed to be on the front line with his troops? The people who are rallying. Where the frick is his army? Because they weren't run out. I think more people, civilians, are protecting Ukraine these days than the frickin' military is, while they're all just sitting there eating Cheetos and drinking beer and singing Kumbaya next to Zelensky, talking about how they got silly America to pay them enough money to eat Oreos.
Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this?
Well, since this thing started, I've seen too many fallacies in it. You asked Earl, is there still a war going on? My question is, was there ever one? I'm definitely on the conspiracy side of this. It's, to me, the whole thing is about embezzling money, and that's just it. This guy cuts this guy a check, this guy cuts this guy a check. Somehow $40 million ends up back in Biden's pocket. Yeah, I think it's all a scam myself. The focus on Israel is gonna take away from that media because that's what's currently hot and selling, and it's all about selling. Selling makes money. They will definitely continue funding it. Like Earl said, they're gonna wrap it in some Israel bill, and they get 50 billion more. They get 50 billion. Before you know it, every person has to work for nothing, and the government provides everything for us. And that's the whole plan, in my opinion. So poverty brings power, bring us down, tax us to death, and then bury us in the end.
Profits over people, baby. This is what the big governments do. This is what big corporations do. It's profits over people. Now let's go to Blaze. Blaze, what do you think about this situation? It seems like the war in Ukraine is not getting any coverage anymore. Zelensky's frustrated. He's not getting the coverage he desires. When he watches CNN, they're not talking about it enough. What do you think about this?
Well, we got Florida for about 4 million. Looks like we're getting a quarter of the Ukraine for 100 billion. I mean, inflation, right? Honestly, we're just prepaying for a base, a couple bases over there, full protection of our soldiers. And yeah, we're just buying some real estate, guys. That's all it is. They're not going to tell us, because Russia is actually right down there in Cuba below Florida. They got a nice positional move on the chessboard, so the pawns all over there. Now America is coming back with, well, we'll help the Ukraine because they're right on your border, and we're going to be on your doorstep in case you try and knock on ours. That's all what it's all about, guys. They're playing chess. $100 billion is nothing, honestly, for what they're going to get out of it in the end. So, yeah, they're going to get paid gracefully in land and military base over there. That's my call.
All right. Now, those are great perspectives. I love hearing from you guys. Now, this is the next question. Joe Biden says Gaza and the West Bank should be reunited under Palestinian Authority. So this is touchy because Israel is pretty much controlling those areas. But Joe Biden is suggesting that Gaza and West Bank should be reunited under Palestinian Authority and reiterates a call for a two-state solution, which was the solution that we had before, and obviously it wasn't working. What do you guys think about this? Do you agree with Joe Biden, King Earl?
I can actually say, yes, I agree with Joe Biden on this situation, only because I've been freaking saying it since day one. But the thing is that there's things that need to happen so that this can actually take place, right? So Palestine needs to get up off their ass, quit trying to freaking pay people to launch rockets, go in, pick their cojones up, sit down, talk to Netanyahu and his cabinet and the full established government of Israel, gain passage and safe passage to Gaza to police their own freaking people. I mean, why should the bloodshed have to be on Israel? I mean, if somebody in communism California was launching freaking rockets into the center of the U.S., I wouldn't expect Arizona to have to go freaking take care of it, or Mexico to have to freaking go take care of it. I would expect the United States to step up and go in there and police its own people. And the same thing should be happening over there. I mean, it's just simple. I mean, the thing is that Israel has the capability of blowing Gaza straight off the map and just leaving it as an inland water fountain, right? And they have the capability of doing it and they don't. But if you give those same capabilities to the other side, it's apparent what they would do in the situation. But the problem is that Palestine needs to be responsible for Palestine and quit freaking cowering away from Hamas and quit trying to start wars just to win a freaking election, because that is what started this entire freaking thing. It's what started it in the 80s. And this is the last time they had an election was in the 80s when this crap was happening, and it's just step movement by them because they're scared of Hamas is going to win the election for the cabinet, and then it was rigged anyway, so they didn't win, and they canceled the freaking election and then blamed it on a church fire just to launch support for freaking Palestine. When are you supporting Palestine or are you supporting Hamas, in the situation? And then the whole Middle Eastern world is in a tundrum because of Iran can't get their stockpile through because the U.S. decided they was going to put a bunch of battleships into the sea and keep the stockpiles of missiles and rockets and changing stockpiles of stuff coming from Iran to help Hamas, because that's where the funding was coming from, and we all know it, and that's why we put a freaking battleship there. Paid goods, and they can't do it. That's why they're trying to pressure the rest of the Islamic Arab countries to actually step up and support Hamas and Gaza, is because they can't get their supplies there, and they don't want to get their toes dirty, showing that they have been doing it the whole time. But Palestine needs to clean its own crap up and police its own people up, and they need to talk with Israel about getting passage back and forth, even if it's monitored, because Palestine can't be trusted either. But, they need to go in and take care of it, or they need to give Gaza to Israel while Israel gives the West Bank to freaking Palestine, or a little bit more territory. That way it's not separated. But, if you want to keep it a two-state solution, it's going to be difficult if you're not willing to police your own crap up.
All right, King Earl, we appreciate your opinion there, and I can tell you're very emotional about it and passionate about it. And I know you've served for America and you served your country, so you know a thing or two about war because you've been in these wars. Nash Cowboy, what's your perspective on this?
My personal opinion is a two-state solution didn't work when Britain came up with it. I don't think it will ever work, letting them control everything. In my opinion, Gaza will always be the case of doing what happened, and you can't have part of Palestine here and part of Palestine here. There needs to be a complete separation. I say give Israel Gaza. Although Israel did smoke their ass once before and let them keep it. So I'm sure Israel will probably be graceful again and let them keep it again. But things are definitely going to have to change because every so often they just get a wild hair up their ass and want to start fighting again. So, but I think it would be a lot better if Israel just took control of Gaza and left it that way. Give them land somewhere else or something. Even set them up somewhere. Be graceful and set them up somewhere else. Give them another little chunk of land and whatever it takes. But what we do know is something's got to be done because this has been going on for thousands of years. I mean, it's not something new, and I just pray that some kind of solution does happen soon, because there's definitely a lot of innocent people dying on both sides, and something's got to be done about that. But you can't blame Israel for retaliating. Just like Earl said, if that happened here, I would expect our military to go balls deep in attacking the opposition there. So, I mean, I can't blame them, although there's definitely a lot going on that needs to stop, just for the sake of the innocent.
All right, Nash Cowboy. What do you got to say about this, Blaze?
I completely agree with Earl. Police your own people. I definitely agree with Nash. There's a lot of bloodshed on innocent people. But in the end, guys, look, if that was the United States of America and Mexico came over the border and started slaying people, we'd probably have half of Mexico blown right off the map. So it's a tough situation, but in this case, man, Israel got to do what they got to do. Their people were slain in front of their children, and then their children were taken and slain. I'm surprised they didn't blow them out the map already, So unless Palestine starts policing their own neighborhood and gets rid of these people, it looks like they're going along with them, unfortunately. So, yeah, you got to police your own people. You got to clean your own neighborhood up. Everybody's got their own neighborhood, and if I see something wrong outside my door, I'm going to do something about it. But down the street, John or Joe out there are going to take care of that, unless, something happens, what's going on out there. But at the end, just, make sure you take care of your own and keep them in line. Lay the law down. There's more of them than there is Hamas. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%.
And Hamas,
all right, this brings us...
Hamas is really the ones destroying Palestine. It's not Israel.
I got one more topic, and we only got a couple minutes left. So this last topic is, if you guys can see the screen, the first ever flying car. Check it out. The first ever flying car took its flight. What do you guys think about flying cars? Would you guys be for this? Do you like this? Do you think it's a good idea? I don't understand how it would work. Like our airspace, like if there was flying cars everywhere, like if there was an accident, they'd be falling on top of us. How does that work? How does this even really work? Love to know what you guys think. Are you guys for this, against this? Are you into flying cars? Would you buy one? What do you think, Earl? Start with you. It's our last question.
I think this is old news. I mean, Mr. Beast has already flown in one. It ain't the first flight. I mean, it's been around already for over 10 years. I mean, who's this guy and why is he so special that he gets all this media coverage? I mean, it's already been out there. It's non-relevant to what's going on in the world. Do I agree that, the skyways are less bumpy than the freeway? Well, not when you hit turbulence, but, we'll have to see on that and work with FFA or FAA regulations and airspace regulations. And, who knows when a flying car will be flying over the United States and monitoring our military bases like a Chinese space balloon, So it's just smoke and mirrors. I mean, this has nothing to do with anything.
Okay. Nash Cowboy, what do you think about this? You into this? You think this is a good idea?
Nah, like Earl said, I mean, they're claiming that's the first one, but there's actually been others. I actually watched some YouTube videos on some others that were years ago, and to me, that's just a plane. Like, let's face the facts. There, it's got wings that are definitely bigger than our road lanes, so I wouldn't classify it as a car. The It's just a different shaped plane to me, and they're just trying to say it's a car. They seem pretty happy about it, but I think it's the dumbest idea in the world. Until you get to where something, I'm not against the thought of technology progressing to an airborne craft of some sort, but let's face the facts. People can't drive right now, let alone fly. So maybe something that you can get in that might lift you up magnetically or whatever and take you directly to your destination and know sensor wise where you're going and not have to even control it. Maybe, I don't know, but that plane car is not the answer.
All right, Blaze, the last comment of the evening. What do you think about this flying cars? You for it? You against it? You think it's a good idea? Would you like to have one? What's your opinion?
It's a low flying compact airplane. So that's not a car. It's got wings. Okay. If you want a flying car, it's got to hover and then stay off the ground about 2-3 feet. That might make more sense 100 years from now. But the way technology is going, probably 50. But that is not a car. That is garbage. I wouldn't drive that if you gave me one. And, you know, it's hard enough to get a license to drive on the street than it is to get one of those airplane licenses. Not to mention the fact Earl's always driving around the country and he's got wind that's blowing a huge 18-wheeler at times. What do you think these little gusts are going to do to this little airplane that's flying off the ground a little bit? It's going to crash into a building and it's going to be, no, that's a mess. They got to get rid of that thing. It's a dumb idea. Garbage.
Okay. Thank you guys for your opinions. We are finally done with our show, the 26th episode of the Bull and Bear Show. Wish everyone a great week. Let's continue the momentum in crypto. Bitcoin is still doing well as we are live. Ethereum is sitting at 2005. Bitcoin is sitting at $37,289. So wishing everyone a great week. Nash Cowboy, King Earl, Blaze, guys, go and subscribe to all three of their channels. Follow them all over social media. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching.
Happy
the Rich
Thanksgiving, USA. Boom.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everyone in America. Wish everyone a great week, and we'll be back next week. And next week, we're going to have a one-on-one with Nash Cowboy.
Uh-oh. I'm warming up my seat for that day.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Much love, guys.